What is up, everybody? So I am headed to a customer's house who says they're having a really bad problem with bubble algae. So we're gonna head there in a little bit just to see how bad this is, and then we'll kind of make a plan to deal with that. But first, I'm at another customer's house right now, and there's some issues that we're having with the tank, and I'm gonna go ahead inside and take you guys with me and see if you can spot all the problems that are going on with this tank. I think this will be kind of fun. You guys be the aquarium service tech for today. So let's go ahead and go inside right now and take a look at the tank. All right, so here it is right there. It's a little 45-gallon corner tank, old school tank. It's been up a while. They just don't make these little corner tanks anymore, which I think they're kind of cool. You know, they'd be able to fit in the corner of a, of a living room or something like that, kind of out of the way, tucked away. It's curious why they don't make these corner tanks anymore. I really do think that they're kind of unique looking. All right, so here's the aquarium. Let's go ahead and have a look inside and tell me, excuse my pipe here for the water change, but tell me if you guys see anything that could be possibly wrong. All right, so we have Kenya tree up there. We have this toadstool that usually is out, but it's not out right now. But usually those polyps are out in that toadstool, and it looks really good. We have a hammer coral there. Now that's just recently been put in about a month ago. But then check this out. We have this hammer coral in here that's been in here for a long time. But you see all those missing heads right there, and you see the heads that are on it do not look good. So there's that. Some mohawks. Now we just started with maybe 5 or 6 of these, and they've ballooned to just like, I mean, there's a couple, there's probably like, you know, there's probably like 50 or so on there, but they're growing really good. And what the heck? Okay. We got some pallies right here. You notice anything on the rock there? Rock flower anemone. Then we have some beautiful red mushrooms here. So take a look at those mushrooms. They're doing good. That started with just one, and they're growing pretty well. There's a mushroom on the side. Oh, this Kenya tree doesn't look too great. It's kind of slumped over. Tube anemone back there. Underrated coral. I definitely think like these tube anemones are completely underrated. Definitely would like to see more of these in aquariums. I think they're just really unique looking. This thing keeps hitting me. What the heck? All right, then Paligrandas. Those look pretty good. Eagle eye zoas right here, mixed with some other type of zoa. I don't know what that is, but those, okay, so that's there. There's a rock. Let's look a little bit closer at the rock. All right. That anemone we just recently put in, and kind of lucky because I think we put him in about 2 months ago, and he's been staying in that area, which is kind of cool. He hasn't been wandering around too much. But his pintail fairy wrasse is thinking it's feeding time. We also got a clownfish and a blue assessor. There's the power head. We got another clownfish towards the back and some green star polyp. The Kenya tree up there, up top, looks really good. So you got a power head here, you got flow coming from there, then you got your return pumps over there, flow's coming out of there. So, and then here is the lid, and we are running, or he is running, a Ocean Revive light, one of those Chinese black boxes. I've used these in the past. This is one of the first lights I've ever got because it was affordable and it covers a large area. And a lot of people that do frags and go to frag shows, they use these lights as well. So these lights are, I think they'll do the job. They're, you know, I think they'll definitely grow coral and all that. But when you shut this lid, the light comes down a significant amount. So it's like, you know, maybe I'd say 5 inches away from the water column. Now real quick, here's the filtration for this tank. Now with the 45-gallon corner tanks, the stand, it gets a little tricky to get the right sump in here. So here's the sump. You have your return section, there's your sock, you have a big old protein skimmer right in the middle, and then return pump section over there. This little buffer section right here, which has sponge or floss in it to prevent microbubbles from the protein skimmer getting into the return pump, okay? Also has a doser dosing calcium alkalinity. So there's a tank. Also PJ Cardinal in there. So I think there's like 6 or 7 fish, so it's not crazy stocked. Now the nitrates in this tank are just below 10. Phosphates are probably 0.06, 0.08, I think, something like that. Calcium alkalinity stays steady at 440 and 8.4 respectively. So here's the tank. If you guys can name all the issues going on with this tank. Now look, everything looks good, right? I mean, it looks decent. Things are out. Nope. These are easier corals. These are just softies and some basic LPS and anemone, nothing crazy. But there's some stuff in this tank that's wrong. And let's see if anybody down in the comment section can list everything that's wrong. I think that'd be kind of cool if you guys can identify all the issues. And if you want to comment how to fix them, that'd be cool too. Let's have a fun little conversation. You guys can be the aquarium service tech for today. It's close to the holiday. I need a break. You guys do my job. But right now we come here once every 2 weeks, and right now I'm gonna do about a 30% water change. Now we do run our RODI system on here. First of all, this is the calcium alkalinity that we use. Reef Pro, he's a local guy. I really like him. So this is the RODI unit that we have. It's running 0 TDS, and you can see there's still some good DI there. So there's 2 DI resins, 1, 2. There's a carbon and your sediment filter over there, and obviously your reverse osmosis. But we keep up on the DI resin, the carbon, and the sediment filter, although the sediment filter looks like it might need to be changed. All right, so there's a little bit of the tour of the tank and everything that's going on with it, but I'm gonna finish up now and let's head to the next job. All right, so here we are at the job with the tank with all the bubble algae, and we're gonna go, I can get my door open. We're gonna go ahead and go inside, and let's just see how bad this algae really is. Oh, so I'm walking in and already, wow, I'm at a loss for words right now. This is by far the worst bubble algae I've ever seen in my whole time doing aquarium service. This is absolutely just it's out of control. I don't even have the words for it. Like, it's all over. Oh my God. There's not one part of this aquarium that doesn't have bubble algae or algae on it. And one thing I'm noticing is the customer said there was fish in here. There's no fish in here. There's nothing alive in here unless it's tucked away somewhere. But I mean, look at the sand. The sand, it's thin and it's just covered in I just never seen bubble algae like this on sand before. I'm really just kind of blown away right now here, guys. And I mean, look at the back wall, hair algae, bubble algae. Like, for no fish or no nothing in this aquarium to have this much algae. Cyanobacteria is there on the back wall. I mean, it's this feeding magnet here. This is covered in hair algae. we got our work cut out for ourselves. And yeah, I just never seen this much bubble algae before in my life. I just can't put it into words right now. I'm just kind of in shock. Yeah, when they called and said that they had some bubble algae, they weren't lying for sure. That whole rock is just covered in it. The walls, the return nozzles, there's cyano, there's hair algae. I don't even need to do a test because I already know that it's off the charts. And obviously there's nothing really surviving in here because whatever fish were in here are dead now, and appears to be coral as well. So, I mean, there's a coral right here. It looks to be some type of euphyllic coral, a torch or a hammer or something. I don't even know. And I think I saw an anemone around here somewhere. But either way, they're not looking good. So, oh, look at that. Look at the top of the water right there. Look how high the water level is. Because the teeth of the overflow are just completely covered in bubble algae and hair algae that the water won't go over. Look at this. Look at how the water's just resting above there. How dangerous is that? That can leak over the rim of the tank. There's so much bubble algae in there right now that the water cannot go over the overflow. So I just went ahead and used a toothbrush and cleared that up, and it's flowing much better, but wow. Yeah, so that's not gonna happen. So after seeing the tank and talking to the customer, I personally think the best course of action going forward would to be to just break down the whole tank completely. It's been pretty neglected, and I just think that we can spend the time, doing the water changes, adding phosphate remover, adding a bunch of emerald crabs, cleanup crew, whatever. But there's no coral in there. There's that's worth, that crazy amount of coral. There's no fish in there. There's nothing in there that would justify taking so long to fix it. So we'll just break it down and start over with fresh sand, fresh rock. In the long run, I think this will be faster. We didn't set that tank up. We didn't put that stuff in there. So I would feel more comfortable just starting completely over from scratch, knowing exactly what has gone into the tank. But I do feel bad because I got these guys from the store, these emerald crabs, and they were hungry, they were ready to eat. That is okay because I had another job afterwards, which I can use these guys at, which has a bunch of lettuce algae in it. So I'm about to head there right now, up on the 5th floor, go check out the tank, let these guys feast. So let's go ahead and go up there. So here we are at the aquarium, and this tank has come a long way. So I'm gonna go ahead and float these emerald crabs. And here is the lettuce algae right there. There's some back there. Now I was just here the other day taking out a bunch of it, but it was all over the aquarium. And you see little bits and pieces right there in the back. And a bunch of algae also on the rocks too, in between the corals. Take a look at that coral right there. There's a bunch on there. Some more here. So it's not harmful. It's not gonna mess with the corals, but it is unsightly, and we just don't want it in here. And then you can see it's all on the power head too. Bunch of it. The good news is this tank was struggling a lot with diatoms and with cyanobacteria. But now the tank is really coming along. It's getting coralline algae, spreading very good, and I'm really excited about that. The corals are looking so much better than they were. So that's exciting. But now we just got to worry about this algae, which isn't a crazy problem. And hopefully these emerald crabs will come through for us and they will take care of it and eat it and keep it at least under control so it doesn't bother any corals, which I think they'll do fine. We added a couple small frags in here also. And look at those acans. Acans look amazing. Look at them out, their polyps out. So that's good to see. That's a really pretty acan. Now we have some red on the rock, but that's red coralline algae. That's not cyanobacteria. Cyano we got rid of in this tank. So I was here just yesterday and it was way worse. There was a bunch of green lettuce algae in this whole tank, but I sucked it all out, scraped it, sucked it all out, but it's just gonna come back. So I'll put the emerald crabs in here and let them have a field day on it. One less thing that we have to worry about because we're only here once every 2 weeks. All right, so they are ready. I've waited a bit. Let's go ahead and get them in. And there they go. So hopefully they'll find their way around and take care of all that algae for us. Now there's only one fish in here. It's a mystery wrasse hiding way back there. The reason why there's only one fish in here is because the rest of them, unfortunately, died. The reason being he got some clownfish from, unfortunately, a LFS, and they had Bruckinella, and that just spread to all the fish and they all just died. The mystery wrasse is the last one that's left in here, which when I come back next time, we're gonna go ahead and catch him out and let the tank be fallow for the probably 90 days just to be safe. And we'll go ahead and treat his mystery wrasse at our shop. And then eventually when this tank is, we feel comfortable with it, we'll put in some really cool, appropriate size fish for this size aquarium. I'm always amazed how fast
emerald crabs, once you put them in a tank, how fast they go to grazing. He's already grazing on the rock, which is pretty cool. The water chemistry in here is doing pretty well. Everything's testing perfect. I love the way the monopora is looking. Also liking the way the acan's looking, the favias, the euphilia. This is the best this tank's looked in a long time, so I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about putting some more stuff in here, but I want to go slow. I want to take our time. All right, let's let them do their thing.
Now, for those of you who say, well, why don't you just use Vibrant? It's good for bubble algae, it's good for, you know, lettuce algae or whatever. That tank that we just left, he used Vibrant on that tank. This is before we serviced it. And it ended up crashing his tank. That's part of the reason why we were dealing with cyanobacteria, diatoms, dinoflagellates for so long, because the Vibrant just completely bottomed out the whole tank. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Vibrant's also been criticized heavily because they lied about having algaecide in their formula. And I've never been a big fan of it. I like the natural method the best, as much as possible. But that's just one case that somebody used Vibrant and it completely just trashed their tank and just caused all types of issues, which took us several months to get over. And we're finally getting over that hump right now. And then compounded with the fact that he got some sick fish from a fish store, it's just been an absolute nightmare for him. He was almost ready to get out of the hobby completely. So it gives me great joy to see that that tank is finally coming around. But this is just a cautionary tale of be careful with Vibrant. It has algaecide in it. If you overdose on it or if you use it improperly, and sometimes it just happens, you can just completely destroy your tank. All right, guys, that's all I have for you for today. Stay tuned and I will give you updates on all the tanks that we did today and show the progress like I always do. But for now, I got a lot more to do at the shop, at jobs, so I'll see you guys on the next one.